Checkity check check. Check 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 check.
Check of the Chinese checking. How's it going?
Got a drumstick and your brain stops ticking.
You know I'm all about value. Burt Reynolds got mad hits and big tits. He's dead now.
Some of these words are correct. I like your version better than theirs. He's dead now.
Should I make a 1 week parody?
Remix. The J-Bone remix? Yeah, that's on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast.
Did we get all that on camera?
Surely we did.
Oh.
I hit record at some point there.
Yeah.
Right before you started your Bare Naked Ladies remix, I believe.
Well, I mean,
we could just start. Welcome back to RBP.
Yeah.
I am your host, Ross Bolen, here with Jared Borslow, a.k.a. J-Bone, but I missed the theme music, so play it now. J-Bone!
Oh, okay, wait.
Oh, cue it up. All right, we're back. It was an exciting weekend we had here at Bolen Media. Jared went to his first F1 race on behalf of Formula Bone, our F1 brand here at Bolen Media.
Thank you for sending me. That was the greatest work trip I've ever been on. I've been on some good work trips. I went to the Daytona 500, went to Quaker State 400 in Kentucky, but this took the cake.
I went to the Masters in 2017.
Yeah, you won't let me forget it.
Yeah, but dude, I'll be honest, I didn't know how much social media coverage to expect. I didn't know how much you'd be able to get out there, and I knew there was going to be a lot of people, and it ended up being the biggest event in F1 history, actually, in terms of people attending.
Wait, F1 history or American F1 history?
I'm pretty sure F1 history, period. Definitely American F1 history.
Definitely. I know for sure. It was 51% more people than the previous United States Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, and you were there. You saw the masses and documented it well on social media. And, dude, it was just cool. I mean, it was good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was able to get onto the Coda Wi-Fi, that was the biggest key. I was able to live stream. Like, right before the race, I did a 36-minute TikTok live stream. Got, over 50 people in there. While I was doing the live stream, some, 14-year-old kid came up and was like, hey, man, I'm a fan. I'm watching the live stream. I was like, oh, shit. Hey, what's up, man? But I saw the live stream going, so I didn't know, do I put it on him? It was really weird. But it was
minor?
Cool. Shouts to that guy.
Shouts to the minor.
He was, I found out later, he is a Alpine fan.
Okay.
He was decked out in a Alpine hat, Alpine shirt, and he commented on my TikTok, hey, great to meet you. And he has an Alpine TikTok page. The biggest Alpine fan I've ever seen.
What is the fashion like out there at an F1 event? What do people wear?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of that? A lot of people wearing the team gear?
The majority of people go there, buy team gear, and put it on.
Okay.
Because most people in America, I mean, again, that's in America. In Europe, they probably all have some already.
Sure.
In America, everybody came, bought it. The merch lines were super long. The food lines, drink lines, super long. Very long lines. They were underprepared. They ran out of ice on Saturday.
No way.
There was no ice. They ran out of water. They were running out of a ton of stuff because nobody could have predicted the mass of humanity. I think they oversold tickets as well.
Also much hotter than you would expect for October 23rd or 4th or whatever it was when you were out there.
Hey, you know what, Ross? I'll actually be talking more about this event
on the first ever Formula Bone podcast.
Dropping later this week, baby.
How about that? So be sure to look out on social media for the first ever episode of Formula Bone, the podcast, covering everything you need in the world of F1 from Jared Borslow and Bolen Media. Follow at Formula Bone everywhere if you're an F1 fan. And I promise you will enjoy what the Bone Man is putting out for you.
Can you smell what the bone is cooking? It's bone broth.
I certainly can. We got a stew going, baby. I went to the Houston Rockets home opener as a guest of the Fertitta family, the owners of the team. No big deal. No, they invited the whole of what they consider to be Rockets Twitter, which it turns out is a total freak show of social media sports psychos in which I clearly fit perfectly. But it was amazing. It was a great experience. We were in a party suite with an awesome row of food, great seats, and the Rockets, are an average of 19 years old, so they're not expected to do much this year. But it turns out the Oklahoma City Thunder are much worse, and we absolutely beat the shit out of them. As the Astros were also winning the final game of the series to get to the World Series. I'm not sure if you heard about that, but
I did.
Yeah, so it was a hell of a time. I hadn't been to the Toyota Center in a couple years, and it just felt good to be home. Felt good to be back in Houston. I had to endure a 3-hour manic spell to get there, which sucked, but I got through it and was very thankful to be there. Big shouts to my girlfriend who made sure that could happen for me. By the way, Slim Thug, Paul Wall, and Bun B performed their new song, Light the Fuse, which happens to be the Rockets' slogan for this season. What a coincidence.
What a
Hashtag
coincidence.
Light the Fuse. At halftime, and it was a sobering moment for a sober man, me, because I am now, those are the dudes I grew up on. Those are my legends. And they are the old cats that they roll out for the halftime show at opening night for a crowd of 10,000. And I was just
Wait,
like
10,000? Oh, everybody's watching the Astros game.
everybody was at the Astros game.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason I'm sure that their marketing team on the Rockets did such a good job of making sure that social media personalities were present at the home opener. But yeah, it was kind of sad. And like more so because I know these three dudes are just like, yeah, this is a check. And they were definitely paid to write this song and everything. Like they know we know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
So-
being clear.
I want to know what it was like. So you were with a bunch of probably like 30-ish-year-old people who are really aggressive about Houston sports on Twitter. So you're in a box of all those people watching a bunch of 19-year-old kids. Did you feel like a high school dad at like a Friday Night Lights football game?
A little bit. I was like one of the older dudes there, one of the older people there for sure. Which was at 34, which was just like, again, it was sobering. But all in all, it was a blast. They had TVs in there, obviously, so we could see the Astros game and whatnot.
Getting all of one sports team's biggest Twitter like commentators together in one room seems dangerous.
It was definitely weird. I will not lie, but it was a lot of fun. I met one of my childhood heroes, Vernon Maxwell, Mad Max. He was a member of the Rockets championship teams. He was kind of like our Dennis Rodman. Total psycho as well, so he also fit into the booth quite nicely. And on top of that, once again, the RBP gang came through like nobody believed they could, and we saw another Ross Bolen's wife left him sign front and center on College game day at none other than UCLA.
Wait, I did not think we were a UCLA
Yeah.
podcast.
I, honest to God, did not even check College game day this weekend because I was just like, yeah, there's no way. Sorry. UCLA, I don't think so. And then the tweets started coming in, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. So I think this sign, by the way, was the best sign yet.
It was. This person clearly put a lot of work into it. They took all the advice you gave about like make it legible, make it
Thick
really
lettering.
big, black on white.
Thick lettering, baby, with 2 C's. And I think it was girl made, female made, is my guess. I think somebody got their female friend or lover to make them, maybe both, to make that, doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, Jared. You and I are lovers and friends.
True.
To make them this sign. And anyway, deadass didn't think this would happen once, so the fact that y'all have done it like 4 times now and that we're on the West Coast at UCLA is utterly hysterical.
Yeah, this week has been so crazy. This weekend was so crazy and hectic that like I completely forgot about that happened until you just said it right now.
It was the least important thing that happened. That's somehow possible in an insane weekend like ours that we just had. The gang is undefeated. Undefeated. Speaking of sports, many of you remember 5 years ago, the Chicago Cubs had a magical campaign to a World Series championship, and a 108-year curse was lifted. It was one of the coolest moments I've seen in my 34 years on the earth so far. Feels like it was like 15 years ago, honestly. It's bizarre that it was only 5 years ago. If you want to relive it or somehow missed it altogether, the new podcast, The Run, relives that 2016 postseason game by game, all the drama on the field and off, plus interviews with players, coaches, and celebrity Cubs fans. Today's episode of RBP is brought to you by The Run. And The Run is not just about baseball, but about what it meant for the city of Chicago and why that Cubs team captivated the nation in the fall of 2016. Very cool story that shows you how sports and society really tie together and how this stuff massively impacts people's lives in ways you wouldn't consider, which we'll get to more later in this very episode. It features inside stories from general manager Theo Epstein, manager Joe Madden, Game 7 hero David Ross, as well as celebrity Cubs fans and more. It's hosted by Matt Spiegel of Chicago's The Score and Roy Wood Jr. of The Daily Show, who were there for all the games leading up to the epic Game 7, and that's The Run from Audacy and Major League Baseball. Listen and follow the Audacy app on the Audacy app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Run. Again, not sure if you heard, Jared, but the Astros made their, third World Series in 5 years.
Yeah, I heard.
I think that's called a dynasty. So over the weekend, I realized something. Astros World Series appearances, in fact, the last 4 Astros World Series appearances have lined up perfectly with major transition periods in my life. Like, to a point that it's eerie. Listen to this. 2005, we go to the World Series and play the White Sox. We get swept. My parents are going through a divorce. I'm graduating from high school, going to college. I'm on probation with Harris County. Life is a mess. 2017, during the World Series, literally during the World Series, I quit drinking, which many have speculated, drove the team to the 2017 World Series win.
You don't think it might have been like Hurricane Harvey and playing for...
Also, Hurricane Harvey happened, devastating the city of Houston, obviously a huge deal for me. That's my hometown. But yeah, I quit drinking after 10 years of dealing with severe anxiety and panic attacks when I was hungover, dealing with panic disorder, and alcohol being a major trigger for me. Literally during the week, all right, of the World Series. And I've lost 60 pounds between the 2017 and 2019 World Series. I lost 60 pounds.
That's still bizarre to me. By the way, there was an old picture of you, not the famous Bill Chungus photo, a different photo. I think Dan posted it, of like some old podcast you guys recorded. Again, I don't remember you looking like that. My brain has just...
You saw me every day.
My brain has repressed the memory of Bill Chungus.
Dude, even for me, I lived in that body. And even for me, the photos are dumbfounding. Now, I have a 90-pound Doberman mix rescue named Harvey who got plucked straight out of the floodwaters of Hurricane Harvey, by the way. Tell me there's no God. That's my girlfriend's dog, like our dog now. But tell me there's no God. My life is a poem. Listen to this. 2019 World Series. My wife left me. Literally, during the World Series. I didn't even fucking realize that until this weekend. Because it was such a fucking blur.
I thought you were going to say you didn't realize she left you because of the World Series.
Because we lost, yeah. Because we couldn't bring it home. She bailed. No, dude, I was at Game 7 in 2019 when we lost. And that was during the week she bounced. So it was like another insane transition period. And then 2021, we're playing the Braves, and I'm weaning off of an SSRI on literally the last phase of it, which is the hardest and the worst, while you and I are building a small business. And this one infinitely harder than the others, believe it or not. Like by far and away the hardest one. So it's just like it's crazy to me how much stuff I have in the final week of October at this point. Like Wednesday will mark 4 years of sobriety for me. And we will discuss my experience cutting alcohol completely out of my life after being incredibly reliant on it to cope with life from age 16 to 30. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday if that's something you are interested in. I get asked about my experience quitting drinking and getting rid of alcohol constantly. People are always asking, what episode can I go listen to? Wednesdays is the answer. It'll be 4 years for me, and I'm going to speak to it extensively. So if you want to hear more on that, be sure to tune in Wednesday. But yeah, the last week of October has historically been bonkers for me. And the way each World Series appearance for the Astros lined up with the 4 most extreme transition periods of my life so far is wild. And it's bigger than baseball for that reason for me. And like for everyone who questions how Houstonians can like support these cheaters, man, the whole league stays cheating and the game is the game. And it's bigger than some silly ass game for Houston because that team symbolizes hope, right? And it's the same for me. And you could argue the Houston Astros have kept me alive. And I know I'm not alone in that. And it's crazy, insane, but it's true. It's the reason why I will always... While I mock sports in this country and how seriously we take sports in this country, I also 120% understand why. Life is hard, man. We need things to entertain us and distract us, but also things to give us hope. Sports, at times, can do that. It can also be devastating.
Yeah, as a Wisconsin fan, it's mostly devastation. But
hey, as a Texans fan... There's definitely a balance in life, I'll tell you that.
But like, as much as like, you know, I grew up a Lightning fan, went to a lot of games growing up. We had season tickets, and I've shed a single tear for both of our back-to-back Stanley Cup hoistings. Now, if Wisconsin is to win a national championship in basketball or football, that's like I wouldn't have any fluids left in my body. I would empty all of them. Tears, piss, the other stuff.
All of it. No, I'm going to be emptying the tank when we inevitably win this World Series.
Inevitably.
I will be emptying the tank. It will be what I call a full body explosion. I will be crying, throwing up, making a diarrhea in my pants, spewing snot out of my nose, and coming at the same time.
Why would you not take your pants off if you are planning for this to happen? Why would you keep the pants on and then shit yourself knowingly?
You're right. I should wear a trash bag.
I have a question. Is the only difference between shitting yourself and pooping having pants on?
Yes. It is. Yes, it's the only difference. What other difference would there be?
Well, so like you can just have a massive diarrhea in a room, but you didn't shit yourself because yourself implies the pants have contained it on your body.
This is one of those moments where I'm like, is Jared secondhand high from me? Because he just doesn't smoke weed. It just doesn't make sense. Like, how is this something coming out of his brain right now?
That's so interesting.
Same question I ask when I'm shooting. How is this coming out of my ass right now when I have diarrhea? I ask that question. Relatable. Very relatable content.
Relatable.
Speaking of health, Jared, did you know more than half of Americans are on crap health insurance plans with crazy high deductibles and copays and sky-high premiums, and it's just a nightmare out there? I had to get my own insurance when I started Bolen Media and became self-employed, and it's awful. The worst process ever. You end up not knowing what coverage you have and getting skewered, and that's why we're excited to introduce you to today's sponsor, CrowdHealth. It isn't health insurance. It's a better way to pay medical expenses. CrowdHealth is a community of people who are tired of paying for a broken system, a place where you can get a simple, flexible, and affordable way to pay for your health care. Being in the CrowdHealth community can save hundreds of dollars monthly and put thousands of dollars back in your pocket. It's a membership, a community of health-conscious members who want to get and stay healthy in return for lower prices. And CrowdHealth gets rid of the insurance middleman, passes the savings on to its members. 100% of your monthly membership fees pay for actual health care costs, helping the CrowdHealth community stay healthy while keeping more money in your pocket. Membership as a monthly subscription you can start or stop whenever it's convenient to you. It's simple and transparent pricing, customized to fit your needs. CrowdHealth lowers your monthly healthcare costs, and you can see any doctor you want. CrowdHealth is able to offer amazing prices because of its community of health-conscious members. But for a limited time, our listeners get their first month free, and after you've been a member, CrowdHealth will include a fitness wearable. That's a fitness wearable. 30 days to try risk-free plus the fitness wearable. Just join crowdhealth.com/fit. That's join crowdhealth.com/fit. Enter the code RBP when you sign up. The code is RBP at joincrowdhealth.com/fit. CrowdHealth is not a health insurance. It is a community-powered alternative. Terms and conditions may apply. Jared, I know you haven't watched it yet because you were busy with F1, but I watched Dune this weekend. And I watched it at home. Even though I know this is a must-go-to-the-theater movie, unfortunately. And I just didn't feel good, frankly. That's the reason I watched it at home. But I will say, if you can, this is one for the movie theater. It's one where I would say it's an experience that is going to be significantly altered if you watch it at home versus the theater. And dependent on your home setup, obviously, but for most of us.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So Dune is one of those franchises that I've heard of.
Right, my whole life.
But I don't know what it is or what... Like, is it a video game? Is it an old movie? Like, what is Dune?
I have zero Dune knowledge. I don't know shit for fuck about the books or this series or whatever the hell this is based off of. I'm ignorant scum, but I've been since told... There are at least 2 books.
Okay.
And then there's like some other kind of source material that they plan on going off of after those books, like maybe some other books written by, I don't know if it's the same people. Again, I went into this pretty much blind and by choice. Like you said, Dune is always one of these like sort of fringe franchises I've heard about. I know they made another movie and it didn't go particularly well or whatever, but it's a legendary book series that people have talked about my whole life. And whether or not it could be turned into like a successful movie franchise. Because it is one of the most popular book series ever. And I thought it was great, the movie. Like really, really good. Much better than I expected it to be, frankly. And the cast is used correctly. I'll just say that. Big point, my big takeaway, is Timothée Chalamet, the star of Dune, is bar none, inarguably the new king of Hollywood.
I thought it was Timothée.
Timothée Chalamet.
He says Timothy, though, but like there's an accent there, Timothée.
Timothée Chalamet. However you want to pronounce it, that dude is God. He's taken over. It's over. It's over, dude. Dune and French Dispatch dropped on the same day, and he's in both of them.
Isn't he the guy who got famous for having sex with a piece of fruit?
Is he?
In Call Me By Your Name? Yes.
Oh.
The same movie in which he was a love interest of Armie Hammer, known cannibal.
But that's not how he got famous, because I didn't even know about that.
Oh.
You telling me he went the route of the American Pie guy?
Yeah.
Had sex with an inanimate food?
A fruit, nonetheless. Yes. Having sex with
apple pie or any other fruit.
I believe it was a peach.
Blow you
would
up.
Hurt your urethra.
Blow you up in America.
Now, again, Armie
fast.
Hammer, whose name is Armand Hammer, because he's a member of the Arm & Hammer family, still blows my mind. Every time.
Bizarre.
Now, big question for me. I see these beautiful, like, spacey looking advertisements and whatever. Can I get a non-spoiler, like, very quick synopsis of what this movie is about?
Desert Star Wars.
Boom. On Earth?
Nope.
Okay. Desert
planet.
Space, desert, star, Tatooine.
Yeah, it's Star Wars and fucking Avatar mixed together.
Avatar the movie or Avatar the Last Airbender?
Movie. Mixed together with some Last Airbender thrown in, sprinkled in. There's a little bit of everything in this, but it's just the Timothée Chalamet show at the end of the day. It's like this guy is just ridiculous. He's also playing Wonka.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He actually is taking over.
He's dating Zendaya, who is one of his co-stars in this franchise. She's very little featured in this first film, I will note. She's mostly in like him having weird dreams for a few seconds or whatever. And spoiler alert, not really. But yeah, she is like Hollywood's coolest girl in the world. If you haven't noticed, Zendaya.
Euphoria.
Universally loved. Euphoria was amazing. Season 1, Season 2 is coming up. But those two are running it out there. Like running it up. They are draking, both of them. Like, well, you cannot argue with the success. And I don't really know what all that bad you could say at this point.
Do you think there's a chance that Timothée Chalamet gets nominated for multiple Best Actors this year?
Yes.
For like Dune, Wonka, whatever the other one was.
I think he is in a position currently, based on his age, which I will pull up now, to go down as one of, if not the like most celebrated actor ever at this point, based on what I'm seeing from Little Man.
He might have won something for Call Me By Your Name.
He's 25 fucking years old, Jared.
Oh my God.
He's a 25-year-old. He was born December 27th, 1995.
It's not great for us.
I feel like it is. If I'm going to age into shit and die, no matter what, I'd at least get to like to watch Timothée Chalamet shine during the course of that downward slide. Thank you. And good night.
I feel like Ansel Elgort walked so Timothée Chalamet could run.
I don't know who that is, but...
The guy from Baby Driver. Remember that guy?
Ansel
Weird
Elgort?
Name. Ansel Elgort. Weird name. Tall, lanky guy. Good actor.
Yeah.
And then, but
he's no Timothée, though.
No Timothée.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. At this point, it's like based on this guy's ridiculous IMDb page, if you're showing up for a role opposite him and you're both trying out, you just go home, right?
How does he film all these movies like that come out around the same time? I don't get that. This is 3 like blockbuster films that he's starring in at the same time.
It's just, well, first of all, it's partially because of the pandemic, because a lot of this shit got pushed. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I definitely speculated that the pandemic would lead to this onslaught of art, like just album after album of new music, which has happened. It's been amazing.
Been later than you thought, though, right?
It's the music part started about when I thought it would. I'll say J. Cole was like one of the first albums that I was like, okay, and it started just this month after month after month of just album after album after album after album after album, especially in hip hop where I pay the most of my attention. Movies definitely been slower than I expected. I thought they would just start dropping these once the vaccine hit. And that wasn't really the case. They've still, I mean, theaters have not, I don't know if you've noticed, they haven't gone like full balls to the wall. There was some lead up and some Matthew McConaughey commercials about trying to get people back to the theater. But then it's sort of fizzled out. And Dune is like the first big opportunity, I feel like, for Hollywood to drag people back in. So we'll see how they do. But I thought it was really good. And again, my biggest takeaway was just like, okay, I'm like 6 Timothée Chalamet movies in now. And this dude has not missed. At some point, it's going to start to get awkward for everybody else because he's just better. I don't know how you beat that.
He needs to mix in a bad movie or like a risky one, like Failure to Launch or something for McConaughey.
And for a dude that's crushing like he is, usually those types are like super weirdos. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
The dudes who have the ability to fully transform themselves into all these different character roles are usually the strangest humans on the planet, like almost impossible to identify with. Whereas he seems, Timothée, relatively normal still. For at least, he's only 25, I guess. You give him another 6 roles to bite off, maybe he ends up popping out a lot more like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, here's a question. So we all know about Joaquin Phoenix, probably the weirdest of all of
He's definitely up there.
Now, I've never seen Daniel Day-Lewis not doing a character acting thing.
What do you mean?
Like, I've never seen Daniel Day-Lewis not method acting. I don't know what he's like in real life, like regular guy.
I've seen him give a speech, and he was very odd.
Really?
Yeah. Like, Joaquin is slightly more normal.
I've also seen Daniel Day-Lewis give a speech. He said, "I drink your milkshake."
I drink it up. God, I love that movie so much.
There was a time when I first started working here, I would be in my room, like editing videos and stuff, and I would just hear like the loudest I've ever heard TV speakers go. I'd go into the living room, and Ross would be eating lunch, watching the oil well explosion scene.
And There Will Be Blood.
And that happened multiple times. Why do you go back to that specific scene?
I don't know, man. Something about it brings me peace.
It's so loud.
Yeah, I think it's the chaos. Makes me feel better. Oh, God. All right, let's do insane headlines of the day. Here's one for you. Inside the jaw-clenching world of cricket fighting in China. China. It's been a minute since we discussed China, where the population is 3.79 billion.
I don't think it. I think it's 2.856.
Population of China. Fuck. 1.402 billion. Damn it. Why am I always so far off here? It's just never close. Anyway.
Well, we don't know. The Chinese are not giving us a lot of things.
That's true. They don't report their figures accurately.
So.
But this is a crazy story. So to get a little from NPR here, the window shades are drawn. The air is filled with cigarette smoke and tension. About 36 people, mostly men, huddled around a table in silence. All that can be heard is an unmistakable chirp. It's a cricket fight. Fall marks cricket fighting season in China, a sport believed to date back more than a millennium. In recent years, it's gained popularity with new generations. Some of the games go on covertly in small back rooms. Others, such as an annual face-off held in the southern metropolis of Hangzhou or the port city of Tianjin, are splashy, televised affairs. Big money is involved. The little critters themselves are usually cheap, around $5 to $10, but the most elite fighters can end up being worth a small fortune in a country where millions of dollars are spent on cricket sales.
So this is probably a good time to announce I'm launching a new cricket fighting brand called Chirpbone.
Chirpbone, coming to you in fall of 2022 with the cricket fighting season of 2022. We're getting in on the ground floor of cricket fighting, just like we got in on the ground floor of F1 in America. Bolen Media, on the horizon of all things.
We're always thinking ahead.
We are. Cricket care and cricket sales, millions of dollars in China, though betting isn't allowed. Some games still see a superstitious but robust exchange of money on the side. Surreptitious, not superstitious. Surreptitious. I think that means... Let's learn a word today, Jared. What do you think it means?
Like not small but not big?
Kept secret, especially because it would not be approved of.
Damn it.
So they do side betting.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a huge gambling thing.
Yeah, it's like how everybody in America side bets all sports now.
Yeah. If you're not in one of the legal states, you're just...
Surreptitious as fuck.
You're so surreptitious. And here's how the game works. 2 crickets, always males, are weighed to the closest 100th of a gram and then paired off by weight class like prize fighters. They are placed in a clear plastic ring, nearly the size of a dinner plate, with a dividing wall separating the 2 insects. A referee signals go time, then slides out the ring divider to let the bugs face off. The owners poke a special reed in to lightly brush their crickets, which goads them into fighting. The critters lunge and swipe their pincer-like mandibles at each other. A referee closely monitors the tiny combatants, noting the number of attacks and retreats.
So I like this. You know, I feel like when you have like these awful things like dog fighting and like cockfighting, it's like to the death. I like that this is like UFC. Like you can go the distance.
Okay, not only can you go to the distance, Jared, they don't even let them get hurt usually. Injuries are rare.
I like this.
They never let them fight to the death, it turns out. So it's like, it is exactly like boxing, except even more safe because these crickets can't throw punches like that. In one fight in this smoky room, there's a quick tussle of just a few seconds, but one of the crickets isn't able to keep its grip on the other and backs off. The referee declares it the loser. Both crickets are quickly put back into clay jars. What? Okay, so this is not nearly as exciting as I expected. I figured that since they're crickets, unlike with dog fighting, which shouldn't exist at all, I want to see them fight to the death. I don't believe bugs have souls. Now, don't get me wrong. I still try to avoid, for karma purposes, bug murder.
Oh, crickets are known to be like the luckiest bug too, like Jiminy Cricket.
Yep. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going around squishing crickets. I try to guide them away from my door or whatever they're trying to chirp their way into. But if I'm watching crickets fight, I do want blood. You know?
Ross wants cricket blood?
I do want blood. So it's kind of lame that they're like, all they do is swipe at each other, and then if one of them backs off, that's the loser?
Yeah. No, this is like a primal mating thing, right? Like, oh, if this was over a woman, you would lose. And so that's kind of what they base it off of, I think. It's like a dominance thing, more so than like a violence thing.
How fucking bored are they?
They've been bored for millennia, apparently.
How do we have the two ends of the spectrum being Squid Game, human cricket fighting, and then this,
I mean,
where they don't even let the crickets hurt each other? What is it that we value as humans? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. I would love to bet on a cricket fight, but I feel like this leads to a lot of controversy.
I agree.
Like controversial calls, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Des Bryant moments. Was it a catch? Wasn't it?
It's just like, it's one of those things where you never want to bet on a sport that comes down to the referee. You never want to, but you always do.
You always do, Jared. You just can't stop. But goddamn, I just don't know if I trust the referee's judgment on which cricket was backing off.
What do they hop backwards at the same time?
I'm betting
they measure the distance hopped.
That's why the gambling side of it is frowned upon. Is because I bet there's a lot of deaths, stabbings related to the cricket fights.
Oh, like you stabbed the referee for a bad call?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a small, dimly lit room, so it seems easy to get away with murder there.
Right? Like, as crazy as like the South Americans are about their soccer, beheading the referees on the field and such.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah. You got to feel that it wasn't a professional game. It was semi-professional.
Oh, yeah.
You got to feel that the Chinese would be pretty hardcore with their cricket fighting. That's just my assumption. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You shouldn't behead a referee.
Sports-heavy episode today. Cricket fighting, baseball, F1, basketball. Sports!
Beheading is a sport.
In some countries it is, Jared. In some countries it is. Today's episode of RBP is brought to you by MyBookie. What is a lock in sports betting? A lock, simply put, is a bet that you cannot lose. And with MyBookie, you cannot lose on their NBA lock of the season, which I told you about last week. It's coming up. You place a bet on either team to score between the Dallas Mavericks and the Denver Nuggets. And when the first bucket hits, you win. So I'll put it like this. An NBA game has never gone scoreless. You know this is a lock. It doesn't get any easier. It's almost a joke. If anyone scores in the Dallas Mavericks versus the Denver Nuggets, you win if you do the NBA lock of the season on MyBookie.ag. And with superstars like Jokic and Doncic going head-to-head this Friday night, won't take more than a minute of game time before your bet cashes, and that's not all. If you get paid on Friday during Mavs Nuggets, you can wake up Saturday and throw down on UFC 267 Saturday night. MyBookie is giving all users a $100 risk-free wager on the light heavyweight championship main event fight, so don't wait. Head to MyBookie.ag now. Use the promo code RBP. When you sign up, and MyBookie will instantly double your first deposit. That's promo code RBP to support the podcast when you do your sports betting on MyBookie.ag. Double your funds. Double your winnings. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Code RBP when you sign up today. Stipulations apply. Got another insane headline for you, J-Bone. 1967 Grateful Dead shirt sells for $17,640 at auction. This is a T-shirt.
Yeah, the Grateful Dead, for my generation, late 20s guys, I feel like the pandemic, they needed to find happiness and like fulfillment somewhere, and like 25% of us just went to the Grateful Dead. And that's just like, now you wear Grateful Dead shirts, sandals, you don't wash your hair, you get like those weird wireframe glasses.
Oh, that's part of it, I think. The deadhead lifestyle lined up well with like the not showering, not going to work lifestyle of the pandemic. So a lot of white dudes have found their way over to deadheadism in the past 2 years that were never there before.
My friend Booty Stank Joe moved to Denver, and now he's the biggest Grateful Dead fan there is. When on like Jerry Garcia's birthday, he like did an emotional tweet about it. I was like, Joe, what are you doing?
Being a Grateful Dead fan is one of the few socially acceptable ways to tell the world you smoke pot regularly.
But you don't need to if you live in Colorado.
Like, if you just say, like, I smoke pot all the time, people are like, fucking stoner hippie. But if you say I'm a big Deadhead, people are like, oh, right on, dude. How often do you see him every year?
I would think it's more of an acid thing.
I think it will just, like, to the Deadheads, pot is like smoking a cigarette, you know? Because they're already just so jacked up on hallucinogens that it is what it is at that point. You're just keeping it rolling, baby. I don't know a single Grateful Dead song.
You do.
Name one.
Okay. Scarlet Begonias. That's one.
Scarlet Begonias. You think I know what that is? Scarlet Begonias.
So I was walking down Rubber Dub Square.
See, okay, do they not use any Dead songs in movies or TV shows?
How about something, something, touch of gray. I will get by. No.
Nope. Don't know that one either, Jared.
Then there's one about the guy who's on the run. You know, he's on the run. He's
Probably.
He's on the lamb.
Baby, we were born to run. That song? Yeah, I know that Deadhead song.
It's that one.
Huge Deadhead. Look at me. Anyway, this $17,640 shirt. Where were you on that one, jackass? Supposed to be getting T-shirts for the show. You're still wearing a fucking Chili's T-shirt today.
I am wearing a Chili's
t-shirt. Hashtag Chili's is love.
Chili's love. You always say it wrong.
I'm over here just scooping up Warren Lotus custom rockets drops. Our fucking lawyer in Houston has to call me up and hit me with some side alley deal to buy T-shirts so that I'll have cool shirts for the show. You're over here wearing a fucking Chili's shirt.
Yeah, Chili's sent me this because I'm such a big Chili's fan.
Meanwhile, Sotheby's is auctioning off $17,640 Grateful Dead tees. I thought the Deadheads didn't believe in like monetary value.
Well, we don't know who sold it. There's a lot of rich Deadheads. I feel like
Sotheby's sold it. We don't know who bought it.
We also have this current, like, new, like, era of the cool CEO. Yeah, man, like, I just started my own business, and in my off time, if I'm not in the office, I'm either meditating or I'm working out on the beach, shirtless.
I'm in the woods on mushrooms.
I like to drink. I don't drink coffee. I drink this. It's a chaga tea.
Yeah, chaga. The auction house said that the yellow 1967 tee was designed by Hell's Angels and graphic artist Alan Gut Turk and came from Dan Healy's collection. Healy was an audio engineer who worked with the Dead, and the shirt was part of Sotheby's From the Vault, property of the Grateful Dead and Friends auction. So it's like got serious connections to the Dead and stuff. You know, The winner of the auction, we actually do know. Outlaw Archive said in an Instagram post that it was purchased to, quote, keep the memory of Gut Turk alive, hashtag Gut Turk, and to keep his history together under one roof. Shirt was originally estimated to sell between $6,000 and $8,000.
So is
just
it like
a bit outside.
Is it like a one-of-one shirt?
I believe so.
Okay. I wonder if Gut Turk is the guy who designed the Grateful Dead dancing bears or the skull thing with the lightning bolt.
Not sure.
The skull with the lightning bolt looks a lot like a Nazi thing, doesn't it? You ever seen that?
Yeah, a little bit. Anything with a lightning bolt at this point, though, you look SS-y.
Except for Tampa Bay Lightning.
You got a little bit of SS vibes on you there, player. You don't want that.
Go Lightning.
Yeah.
Not that Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning.
The Ning.
The Ning.
As they're known. The Ning. I wonder if this is like with sneakerheads who pay exorbitant amount of money for a rare pair of shoes and then they never wear them. Like, do you wear the $17,640 T-shirt that's from 1967? I feel like you can't, or you definitely can't wash that, right?
No, absolutely not.
You absolutely cannot wash it. So I feel like you have to really, really pick your spots with when you're wearing it.
Well, it's an archive. I think they're just going to hang it up and put it in like a frame. That's what it sounds like.
Lame.
Yeah, right? And again, it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, you gotta wear it, dude.
You gotta. Clothes and shoes are meant to be worn.
Yeah, they can't just sit. It can't just sit in a box. It's like Toy Story. Like I give feelings to inanimate objects sometimes, even if I don't give them to small bugs. And I feel like if you left Woody in the box and didn't play with him, then the movie wouldn't have happened. You know? Mm-hmm. So you got to wear the T-shirt. That's one of our slogans here at RBP. Wear the T-shirt.
Or the sneakers.
Or the sneakers. I wore my fucking Jordan 1s to the Rockets game.
Yeah, people can't see it right now. I'm actually wearing some first edition Michael Jordan Air Force 1 signed by Michael.
Yeah, and Scotty. And Scotty. Some rare Michael Jordan Air Force 1s.
Yeah, and Horace Grant put on lipstick and then kissed the tongue.
The undersole. There's also a slight bit of Phil Jackson's Chihuahua's dog shit on the left heel.
Yeah, and I actually stepped on some gum that was chewed by Steve Kerr.
Wow. Damn, dude. Those are rare as fuck. Those are going to go off at Sotheby's. Those are $40,000 shoes, J-Bone.
Yeah, man. The studio, I feel pretty safe in here with them. So.
People never knew this. The sneakerheads had no idea, but this rare pair of Jordan Air Force 1s, it was a one of one, and Jared ended up with them because he found them at a fucking Goodwill.
Yeah.
Where he buys all of his other clothes, like this Chili's shirt.
This was given to me by maybe the CEO of Chili's.
Is everything you're wearing right now free? Are you wearing Bird Dog shorts, a fucking Freeze All Motor Functions hat, and a Chili's t-shirt? It's impressive.
Well, these are not Bird Dogs. They should be. These are probably the rattiest pairs of shorts I own. I wanted to look good for the camera, so I.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, here's what I do, and people need to understand this about me. I dress as badly as possible because it makes Ross really pop on the video.
You offset me in my cool t-shirts because I'm such a swag daddy.
Yeah, like I can't look better than you. Except for my shoes, which are off camera, which is why I'm wearing these one-of-ones.
Okay, question. When I come guest as the ignorant American dumbass on a Formula Bone's upcoming podcast, which the first episode of which is dropping this week, you should subscribe to Formula Bone everywhere, follow everywhere. Am I going to have to dress down to look shittier than you? I'll just not wear sunglasses that day. This has been my hack. People have no idea, but underneath here are the dead eyes of a man who hasn't slept in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you wearing sunglasses every day? Fuck off.
Yeah, just do that. That'd be good. God, do I have a sunglass tan? Does it look like I'm wearing...
You got a lot of sun this weekend, my friend. Speaking of making me look good on camera, you really fucked up there. Should have brought an umbrella with you, because now I'm even pastier, Jared.
I got a lot of color.
Slowly turning into a ghost. I am.
Well, aren't we all?
Deep. Douchebag stock's doing well today.
Oh, yeah. Your whole portfolio.
Dude, I was looking at it this morning, and I was like, I only have douchebag stocks. I only have, like, Tesla and Penn, which owns Barstool Sports, and I'll count Cash App as a douchebag stock just because it feels a little... Square is a douchebag stock just because it's so beloved. And the like. And on days where the douchebags do well, it's kind of like hedging your bet, you know? Sometimes when I'm watching the Texans, I bet against the Texans because emotionally, I know I'm coming out of this miserable. But if I at least win money, then I've got something. I know the douchebags are out there and they're getting money like crazy and that they don't give a fuck about any of us. So if I can just at least slide up in there and catch some of that love, makes me feel a little bit better. I can just get through the day, you know?
I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this is legal, okay?
Okay.
Obviously, stocks go up when people are buying more than they're selling.
Right.
What if I got like 1,000 people together and said, hey, all of you assign me all of your stocks, okay? We're not going to sell all these. Like, we're not going to sell these for 6 months, right? But when I say 1,000, I mean everybody in America.
Okay.
So everybody in America.
So if everybody agreed, we're going to hold these stocks for 6 months.
And then all sell right at once, that's a lot of gains.
But the all sell right at once part is the part that doesn't unfold correctly ever.
We'll divide up the winnings.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can call it winning.
The problem is the most of the Americans are selfish dickheads.
Yeah, but I'm not. And they're giving me, I'm the one in charge of the selling. Like everybody in America assigns me all of their portfolios, and then all at once I sell. I sell everything, and I split the profits across everybody.
I think this is the idea of like a 401k or Social Security. Neither of which will exist for me.
No.
Wait, I have a 401k. I just don't know where it is or who's in charge of it.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
Yeah. It's out there, though, Jared.
I know where it is.
It's out there somewhere. Somewhere out
Wait, do you actually
there.
not know? We'll talk about it later.
No, I know where it is. I'm a couple steps removed from where you're thinking I'm at, though.
Yeah.
I had it, I got it from our old company, put it into a new thing, pulled it out of there after the divorce, and now it's in space. It's just floating in the fucking ether.
It's in escrow, whatever
Yeah.
that means.
Also, I'm wearing my Bruce and Bella socks today. They've been stupid cute all afternoon long. I
They're
put up
touching
pictures of them
butts.
constantly on social media at WR Bolen on my Instagram stories for Bruce and Bella updates. But they've been great. Good dogs. They are good dogs, and
Ooh.
they've made big transitions with me lately and been there with me through all this shit, Jared.
My dog Millie has not been a good dog lately.
What's going on with Millie?
So when I went to, where did I go?
Formula One?
No, when I went out of Florida. When I went to Florida,
Oh, Flow Rider.
we boarded them at this dog ranch. Where
Okay.
she got to hang out outside all day. She loves being outside.
That's legitimate.
Got to hang out outside all
Dog
day.
ranch, right on.
Loved it. Ran all around. And now she's so used to, or she wants to so badly stay living outside that she's not coming in when we are going inside.
Oh, she got spoiled.
She just lays down, and I have to do the thing where I go bye, and I go inside and I walk away, and then wait for her to come to the door. Doesn't always work.
You got to play her, but sometimes she's like, "Sure, dude, go.
Yeah, she's like, I like it out
I'll
here.
stay out here forever. This is my home now."
Yeah, she's got an attitude. I love her though.
Parenting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. It is. If you want a free, ad-free, excuse me, it's not free, an ad-free edition of RBP every Friday. In addition to our Monday and Wednesday show, every week Jared and I produce a brand new ad-free exclusive episode just for our supporters on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. If you go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast now, you can pick a tier, support the show with a minimum pledge of $5 monthly, and in exchange, you will get access to those ad-free episodes that drop each week so that you're getting the full bevy of RBP episodes available to you. Not missing out on a third of them like a fool. Plus, every month I do 2 mental health minisodes. If you're in the Enforcer or OG tiers on Patreon, we drop a Bolen Media update column for every single one of our supporters on Patreon each month, and have several other columns as well. They're usually backloaded into the last week of the month, so that if you're a part of our group supporting us and keeping Bolen Media moving in the right direction on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, then you're getting a lot of content to close out each month. Extra episodes, columns, and more. I mean, we have more going on right now at the company than we have ever had before, times like 3. It's the reason this episode ended up being so dominated by things that we are doing and that we've had going on, a lot of which are sports related, honestly, right now. But yeah, like we said earlier, the first ever episode of Formula Bone, Jared's F1 brand, Formula Bone, which you should follow on every platform, is coming later in the week. We are super excited for y'all to get more F1 takes from Jared. If you are a fan of F1, pay attention.
What I want people to know is if you follow me only on Twitter or Instagram, you're like, oh, it's a pretty small brand. He's got 1,400 Twitter followers and 900 Instagram. It's well, you're not on TikTok, baby, or YouTube.
That's
randomly
true.
blowing up on YouTube. I'm probably by the end of today I'll have 60,000 TikTok followers
For Formula Bone.
for Formula Bone.
At Formula Bone on TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok. Also on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, our TV and film podcast here at Bolen Media, we are currently covering Succession, which is 2 episodes into season 3. We were going to have a new episode of that dropping later this evening as well for everybody who's watching Succession on HBO.
I'm excited to watch episode 2 tonight. Didn't get to watch it because I was grinding, not a hero.
I will not comment until OCC, but glad you've got that to look forward to. Also, on OCC, we are watching The Sopranos. If you want to watch The Sopranos with Barrett and I, Barrett is my co-host on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. We are watching the entire series and doing 1 podcast episode per episode of The Sopranos that is spoiler-free and friendly to both first-time viewers and repeat watchers. So go to patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles if you want to be a part of that. Outside of that, new Houston sports show for everybody from Houston and anybody that's a Houston sports fan or just wants to watch World Series coverage between the Astros and Braves. Banging the Can on all social media. And that'll be that. Jared and I will be back on Wednesday. And like I said, I'll be talking a lot, extensively, about my experience cutting alcohol out of my life. That'll be 4 years dry for me on Wednesday, October 27th. And I'm looking forward to sharing some of my story and what I've learned with so many of you who have asked me to kind of have an episode that's cohesively about that, to point people in that direction. When you have friends or family or you yourself are looking for advice around what it means to cut alcohol out of your life entirely. And I thought it was so funny. I put on Twitter, should I celebrate 4 years dry by going to the World Series? And people were like, don't do it, dude. It's not worth it. Keep the streak alive. And I was like, oh my God, y'all don't think it's possible to celebrate anything without alcohol? And it was just like this crazy, like several responses from people like that. Like, that thought me asking that meant, should I break this dry streak and drink at the World Series? Which is obviously not what I was asking. I'm asking if I should go to the World Series to celebrate, but I'm probably not. I mean, honestly, we just have too much going on and travel sucks right now for me. So I don't know if I'm going to make it to any games, but I am excited to watch and remain dry, probably high.
Okay, will you make me a promise?
What?
Will you please go to if there's a home game where they can clinch?
Yes.
You have to go.
Yeah, I know.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will. I'll just have to drug myself and throw myself in a bus or something weird. We'll figure it out, though. We'll figure it out. I'm excited.
I'll drive you.
Big week. Lock in, everybody. Formula Bone, Banging the Can, RBP, OCC. We are doing it over here at Bolen Media. Tell your friends and family about our shows, about our brands. Follow us everywhere on social. Rate, review, subscribe. Thank you. Good day, sir.